So you're studying for your CompTIA A+ certification? That is awesome. Because you're not just getting ready for a test, you're actually laying the groundwork for an amazing career in tech. This isn't about memorizing random facts. It's about learning the real language and the logic that makes our entire digital world tick.
And that's exactly what we're going to do in this explainer. We're going to connect all the dots for you. We'll show you how the stuff you're learning right now for the A+ is absolutely essential for landing that first IT job, and how it sets you up for the cool advanced stuff down the line, like cybersecurity and even AI.
All right, first things first. Let's talk about making that leap from being the person who's good with computers to a real IT professional. It's a huge shift, you know? It's about moving away from just fixing things on the fly to working within a structured system where every single action is thought out and documented.
Okay, let's put you in the hot seat for a second. Imagine you're working and you spot a pretty serious fault on a server. Your gut reaction is probably to jump in and fix it right away, right? But in a real business environment, that could actually cause a way bigger disaster. So what's the professional first move? Well, the answer is you file a change request. This is the very first step in a formal process called change management. It's basically a documented way of saying, hey, I need to make a change here, whether you're fixing something, adding a new feature, or whatever. The whole point is to minimize risk and make sure you don't accidentally take the whole company offline.
And here's what that process actually looks like. You submit your request, then a risk analysis gets done to see what could go wrong. A group called the Change Advisory Board, or CAB, has to give it the green light. Then, the change gets done during a specific time, like overnight, when it won't disrupt people. And, this is the most important part, you have a rollback plan ready to go, just in case.
Now you've got to know that not all changes are created equal. A standard change, like setting up a new user's account, is super low risk and usually pre-approved. A normal change needs that full review we just talked about. But then you've got emergency changes for when something big breaks, and that process is way, way faster. The system is built to be smart about it.
And if there's one thing you take away from this section, let it be this. Having a way to undo a change is just as critical as the change itself. That rollback plan is your safety net. It's your guarantee that if your fix makes things worse, you can hit the eject button and get everything back to the way it was. This is a huge deal in professional IT, and you'll definitely see it on your A+ exam.
Okay, we've talked about processes. Now, let's get our hands dirty and talk about the physical world of hardware. This is where safety, for you and for the sensitive electronics you're working on, is everything. Now, this is something that trips a lot of people up on the exam, so let's make it super clear. A surge suppressor and a UPS both protect your equipment, but they do opposite jobs. A surge suppressor protects against too much power, like a lightning strike. A UPS, on the other hand, protects against too little power. It has a battery to keep things running when the lights go out. All right, let's talk about the invisible enemy, electrostatic discharge, or ESD. You know that tiny little shock you sometimes get when you touch a metal doorknob? That tiny zap carries enough voltage to completely destroy sensitive computer parts like a CPU or a stick of RAM, and you better believe the A+ exam expects you to know how to prevent it.
So here's your battle plan. And listen, this isn't just a list of answers for a test. This is the stuff pros do every single day. You always wear an anti-ESD wrist strap when you're working inside a computer. You keep parts in those special static shielding bags. You lift heavy servers with your legs, not your back. And please, never, ever look into the end of a fiber optic cable. The laser light inside can cause permanent damage to your eyes.
Okay, so you've mastered the rules of IT operations, and you know how to work safely with hardware. Now it's time to unlock your automation superpower, scripting. This is what takes you from just reacting to problems to proactively solving them before they even happen.
Now, don't let this line of code scare you. I know it looks like a bunch of gibberish, but what it's doing is actually amazing. This one little command can check the status of 254 different computers on a network automatically. Imagine trying to do that by hand. It would take you hours. A script does it in seconds. That is the power of automation. A key thing the A+ wants you to get is that you need to use the right tool for the job. So if you're working on Linux or Mac OS servers, Bash is your go-to scripting language. If you're in a Windows world, it's all about PowerShell. And then there's Python, which is kind of like the Swiss Army knife of scripting. It works almost everywhere and can do just about anything.
And don't think for a second that this is just for hardcore developers. This is for real-world IT tasks. You can write a script to automatically remap a network drive for an entire department, or to install updates on 100 computers at once, or even to check how much RAM every machine in the building has. It makes you incredibly efficient.
All right, this is where it all comes together.
We're going to connect these A-plus skills you're learning directly to some of the most exciting, high-demand fields in all of technology.
It all starts right here. With this solid A-plus foundation, you get a deep understanding of how hardware, software, networking, and operations all work together. This is your base camp.
And that very same foundation is what you need to move into cybersecurity. Think about it. You can't possibly secure a network if you don't understand how it works in the first place. Your A-plus knowledge leads directly to certifications like Security Plus.
And believe it or not, that same fundamental knowledge is what's needed to manage the giant data centers that run the cloud and train the AI models that are changing our world. It all comes back to these basics.
And look, here are the direct lines. That change management process we talked about, in cybersecurity, they call it incident response. It's the exact same logic. Knowing how to keep track of your computers, that's vital for finding systems that need security patches. And those scripting skills, they're used to automate security tools and to handle the massive amounts of data that AI needs. It's all connected.
Even something that seems as basic as password rules, which you'll learn for the A+, ties directly into high-level security. The official guidance from the experts at NIST basically says that a long, easy-to-remember passphrase is much, much stronger than a short, complicated password. That's a concept you'll use for your entire career.
So I want you to remember, every single topic you master for the A+ is doing more than just helping you pass a test. It's building your real-world confidence. It's giving you the tools you need to walk into your first IT job on day one and know exactly how to solve problems the right way.
You really are laying the groundwork for an incredible journey. Passing the A+ is that huge first step. So the only real question is, with this amazing foundation you're building, what kind of future are you going to create? Get after it. You've totally got this.